Welcome back to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's start with the first story. It's called Pictures of Everything. Once upon a time, I worked for a boss who loved to micromanage. Not directly, of course, passive-aggressively. I managed multiple store locations. Cash, vendors, profits, all of it. And when I started, no training, no manual, no one to ask. Just me figuring it out. And I did. I mastered everything. Every invoice, every entry, every system. That's when the questions started. What you do this? How come that? Then, from now on, I want pictures of every transaction you handle. Say no more. I started bombarding his phone. Every single transaction, every receipt, every entry, every adjustment. I tagged him in everything. If I didn't get a reply and upper management asked, oh, I asked my boss. He never got back to me. Fast forward a few months. I get a call. Hey, can you stop sending me so many pictures? My phone's out of storage. It's lagging like crazy. I spent half my day deleting photos. The next story is called Dress Code. Back before 2020, I was participating in the Disney College program at the Disneyland Resort. The program director sent out an email to all of the participants 2 weeks before the end of the program. It provided details regarding the end of program celebration. We were all expecting a casual dress code. This would be the conclusion of our time working at the Disneyland Resort. It would take place inside California Adventure Park after hours. The mid-program celebration had taken place in the Disneyland Hotel ballroom. However, the email informed us that, due to the celebration taking place in front of Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, we were expected to wear Galaxy Retro attire. Even though a few sample photos were attached, showing people wearing silver face paint and mid-century skirts, we were all very confused about what exactly Galaxy Retro was. We also didn't know how we were supposed to put together an elaborate costume in less than 2 weeks. Keep in mind that, despite the program being marketed toward up-and-coming young professionals, we were all poor college students. We were working full-time in a busy, hot, exhausting theme park. We were also living in crowded apartments with our fellow participants, who had the time or money to scrape together a Galaxy Retro outfit. Not me. And apparently, almost no one else either. So my 4 roommates and I came up with a plan. We visited a local screen printer and asked them how long it would take to print 5 custom t-shirts. We were told that if we were okay with plain white text printed on the front of 5 plain black t-shirts, then they could complete the order within a few days. The text on each t-shirt said, "Sorry, this is the best I can do for Galaxy Retro." The total cost of the custom printed t-shirts was around $25 to $30. We showed up at the end program celebration, wearing blue jeans and our custom black t-shirts. We even insisted on taking a selfie with the program director herself. Thankfully, she had a sense of humor. She realized her mistake, when pretty much all of the other college program participants wore whatever they wanted instead of Galaxy Retro. After all, no one really cared about dress code, when it was literally the last day of our employment at Disney. The third story is called Check Down, Not Up. I was a cook in the army for a few years in the mid-2000s. During that time I had a surprisingly pleasant deployment. We used to have a soul food night once a week back in the US. When we deployed, that night was replaced with steak and lobster. Since it had been a while since the last one, the dining facility manager decided it was time to bring back soul food night. He happened to be off that evening. Some of our higher leadership were either in Qatar or on leave. So we had a newly promoted staff sergeant running the show. He had just become an E6. He was career army. It had taken him a long time to earn that promotion, and he was clearly proud of it. Meanwhile, I had just been demoted a couple of months earlier, from E3 to E2. I wasn't exactly popular at the time. As we were getting close to opening the line, I asked the staff sergeant where some of the items he was responsible for had gone. He got furious. He gave me a very quick scolding that ended with, "Check down, not up." So, 20 minutes later, when he told me the line was ready and to head out front, I didn't tell him he had forgotten one of his items. We opened to serve. Our command sergeant major, an E9, was already in line, along with his newest guests. He asked for a bit of this and a bit of that, then stopped in his tracks. "Where's the corn?" "I'm sorry, Sergeant Major. I'm not sure. I swear I saw some getting made." "You better have some corn. That's my favorite. I can get the sergeant for you." "Nope, I'll get him myself." He walked straight into the kitchen and started asking questions. The staff sergeant quickly came out, looked at the line, checked the warmer, and pulled out a pan of corn on the cob. I removed one of the export pans of another item from the serving line. He slid the corn into place. Then, right in front of the command sergeant major, he tried to blame me. "Why didn't you tell me the corn wasn't out?" "Sergeant, you just scolded me for this earlier. You said check down, not up." "I didn't mean it like that." The command sergeant major pulled him aside near the snack bar. He gave him a serious talking to that lasted 15 to 20 minutes. I had never been happier while working the line. The last story is called Stay in Your Lane. I was a college student working part-time as a bench technician at a family-run appliance store. I did my job well enough that their backlog of repairs was reduced to almost nothing. Only the items waiting on parts were still on my bench. The owner's daughter, let's call her Jane, ran the office. She was friendly, sharp, and had real charm. The owner hired a new salesperson, we'll call him John, who quickly became very interested in Jane. He tried to take up all of her attention. One day, Jane went across the street to get donuts. I held the door open for her and offered to carry the box back to the office. John saw this, and in front of Jane, the owner, and a couple of customers, told me to get back to work. He added something like, "Stay in your lane." So I did. Exactly that. The next week, John walked Jane across the street again. She had another errand to run, so he returned alone with not one, but 3 boxes of donuts. From across the sales room, I watched as he tried to open the front door. It was a push door, but he tried to pull it. He fumbled. The boxes dropped and spilled across the sidewalk. Then he shouted, "What's wrong with you? Why didn't you help me?" I replied, "That's not in my lane, John. Remember?" The owner came out. He heard both sides of the story. He told me to clean up the mess, and then took John into his office and shut the door. I managed to save the donuts that hadn't touched the sidewalk. The rest was fed to the dogs out near the dumpsters. Guess who got fired? The new guy trying to charm the boss's daughter? Or the part-time tech whose work cleared the repair backlog and improved customer service? Hint, it wasn't the tech. I soon picked up another job at a similar shop across town. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.